everyone, welcome back to Backstage WA. I'm Shannen Morrison.
And I'm Cailin McPherson, and we're here today with Chloe Hurst, who is a very talented actress, producer, director, now based in Melbourne, but from Perth originally. And we're here to talk about some projects she has upcoming and what it's like in general, being a first-time director, working in Perth, as well as being international as well. So how are you, Chloe?
I'm good, thanks.
So the small independent feature that we are all working on is Honeymoon, directed by the amazing Sarah Legg. So we'll talk a little bit about that one. Obviously Chloe's going to be the lead actress in that one, and we're working on that as well. It's really awesome seeing the process from the very beginning and then going to see how it unfolds. So we'll talk about that a bit as well.
So how do you take on a role, especially a lead role? What is your process when it comes to going into that character?
I'm big on research. So I'm really big on finding context of a person's life, what they do, why they do it, their biggest fears. It's almost like I'll go through a huge character profile that goes beyond a surface level conversation with somebody.
Well, you've worked internationally in LA for a while, in Melbourne as well, and also coming back to Perth for projects. So how have you found that? You're kind of getting pulled in all directions, literally different directions.
Look, I think working in all different locations, again, it has its pros and cons. So working in small roles on big Hollywood films or big roles in small Perth films, there's reasons to love and also reasons to struggle through both. I think for me, I always feel like I've got imposter syndrome. It's just never going to go away. I think that's a good thing though, because I'm constantly learning. So no matter what set I'm on, there's people to network with or things to learn or different ways of working. Also the form for me matters. So I've worked in theatre, film and TV, and I love all of the above. So for me, it's been really interesting to step into different extremes within those forms as well.
There possibly might be a project where all three of us are involved in coming up. So how do you feel about that, coming back to do that film?
When you read her writing, you just can't not do her work or choose to do her project. I think she's visually as well beyond her years. I watched Cherub Head, which was amazing. And I think, it's really rare to find work that you connect to. And then when you realize you're connecting to it with such a young up and coming filmmaker, you sort of think, wow, what is she going to go on and do? So if I get the opportunity to work with her now, I only hope that down the track when she is doing these unbelievable international scale films, that she'll remember me and call me.
Yeah, and it's such a great, without giving away too much, it's such a great, very personal kind of, you are the lead actor. It's a very, very small cast. It's kind of just really, it's almost a chamber film.
It is a chamber film.
It's a chamber film. It's pretty much all in one location.
I mean, the responsibility of this is pretty amazing for me, especially as an actor. But that's what I find thrilling about the job as well, is I get to literally dive into the mind of this person and indulge in it. And I think the subject matter being so current with what's happening in the world and what we're battling with, the war with AI and identity and capitalism and, these really big themes that this really young filmmaker is tackling. It's a responsibility to carry that I'm so ready for. And I'm so excited to just, I think, dive into the multifaceted nature of that.
It'll be such an interesting character study as well, because you've got, it's like the man versus machine. I mean, and as well acting with effectively a screen and someone who's not there. It's like working with CGI almost, and just having that, but it's also yourself versus self. Is that what it's called? I kind of remember in the list of story
absolutely
structures. It's you're in a self, so it's balancing those two, the very kind of obvious outward tension of the genre, but then also all the inner turmoil.
Yep.
And you're really fighting yourself along the way. So it'll be definitely an interesting one.
Yeah, I think it's to me that's the thrilling part, is actually having to put a mirror up and go, okay, great, what does this mean? And also, what does that mean to Chloe, but also to June, but also to, to me and also obviously to Sarah. I think being a vessel for all of the above is equally scary as it is exciting. And I think or at least I hope that if anything, we'll all learn a lot about this process, because we're entering it. It's happening in the world around us. So it goes way much further. It goes way further than I think what we're even capable of achieving.
So is there any upcoming projects that we can talk about right now that are out, or anything that's,
So I'm actually in post-production at the moment for the short film that I directed, with a local writer called Lucy Kate Westbrook, an amazing writer, producer, and also actor in her own right as well. I'm also in development for my own major motion picture that is currently being shopped, I believe is probably the best way to say it. Also very exciting, in a totally different genre and world to everything that I've done in the past.
Thank you so much for coming in today. It's been quite insightful, and I can't wait to continue working with you on a movie, on our honeymoon, apparently. Hey guys, so now we're going to do something new, which is a review of 2 amazing movies that we watched this week. Cinema is back.
Cinema is back with, and yes, you guessed it, because it's literally the only thing anyone is talking about, Barbenheimer or Barbieheimer. We didn't see it in the wrong order, I feel. First. But we didn't watch it on the same day. We were at least a week apart, which I think was the right choice, because I would have been mentally exhausted.
Yeah.
If you've seen the Barbie movie, it's a lot more mentally exhausting than you think it's going to be. And I was like, what is it to be a woman?
Okay, let's talk about Barbie first.
Yes.
What was your thought?
So we were actually invited to the premiere for Barbie in Perth, which is amazing. They went all out. They had like hair glitter, the Barbie box, photo opportunities, musk flavored vodka, which I did not try because that sounds awful. I'm so sorry. But they had it all, and it was a great vibe. And just going in, like the actual excitement when it started, it was like, I think it was just such a fun atmosphere. And like, if you watch it, you'll know it's like a pretty like it was laugh out loud, especially if you're a woman.
Yeah.
Especially if you've been mansplained The Godfather. Especially if you have been subjected to Matchbox 20 before, or any man playing the guitar at you.
Don't really think it's that anti-male. I think it's very like, it pokes jabs at both genders. I don't think it's extremely anti-male as right-wing media is making it seem.
But it's just such a fun movie. It's like an experience. You're not really there as much for the story arc. And I think by the end, it was kind of just like, I could just like keep watching the stuff.
Yeah, like the production design though on this movie is incredible. They used all practical effects, and they just like all the backgrounds were hand painted. The dream houses were built. They were handmade. It's gorgeous. It's like stunning. It's like a visual masterpiece.
I wonder if it's going to be like a front runner for best production.
It has to be.
So, because it was just beautiful. Like all the details, like the Barbie outfits and the boxes that she wears everything was made, and you just know so much detail went into it, and it was just stunning.
Okay, let's go into Oppenheimer now.
The masterpiece.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Oppenheimer by Christopher Nolan.
Yes, Dan Foytema. Excuse me if I mispronounce it. I feel like I always do, even though I've looked it up so many times. Very big first. I think he was the first in a film to shoot black and white IMAX, or at least so Kodak claimed. But then I looked it up and I found out that actually Adele did it first in the Hello music video. So I'm afraid she outsold Christopher Nolan. But in film, and it was very interesting because so much of it is kind of, I don't know, this isn't an official cinematography term, but it was like very much portraiture cinematography. And so he had to get right up in their faces. And I think he said like an 80 would be wrong, 80 lens, and then experimented around. And the fact that they did just like, it was just so, they just managed to get that effect of just so like in it. I don't know, that's not a very good technical way of explaining it, but just the way it was shot.
I would say that Oppenheimer really did exceed my expectations. I know it's not, many people aren't saying it's like the best Christopher Nolan film, but for me, I really enjoyed it.
And it was a biopic that wasn't, it just didn't feel formulaic, and it felt like, it felt, weirdly, it kind of just felt like,
character like a movie.
Yeah, it felt like a movie. No, to a movie.
It feels like a movie.
Cinemas are back, baby.
Yeah, this is what I was just going to segue into. This is like bringing cinema back. We're back
in a mass way.
Now that you all have gone out and seen Barbie and Oppenheimer, go out and see short films.
Go see independent films, foreign films. It doesn't matter if you understand it. Just, you can now say, I go see foreign films at Luna for fun. And everyone's going to be like, cool.
Head down to your independent cinemas like the Backlot, which we're in right now.
We have amazing events. This is now a plug. But like, we have some new releases. You can book events. And then we also have a lot of like classic film screenings. Like they're doing No Country for Old Men coming up soon, which is going to be super fun. And just go out and support cinema because that's how we keep it alive. So we talked in our last episode with Miles Pollard and Trevor Jameson, stars of Frank and Frank, and it is still showing. So if you want to support some local independent Albany cinema, it is still available to be seen.
Yeah, we can go at the Backlot August 6th. They will be having a screening. We'll link some stuff in the below section. And from August 17th, it will have its cinema release at Luna Leaderville.
Exciting stuff. Yeah, so head down and again, keep supporting cinema.
We're here with Cassandra Jordan, who's the new appointed CEO of Cinefest. How are you today?
Yeah, really good. It's pretty crazy. At the moment for us, we're putting together our printed program, which will be announced on July 20. So yeah, it is busy, mad hectic. I think we're about 7 weeks away from the festival now. But yeah, otherwise it's all really exciting.
Yeah, exciting. And you were appointed as the Chief Executive Officer this year. Can you tell us a little bit more about your journey with Cinefest and how you kind of got to this place with Cinefest?
Yeah, completely. So my journey with Cinefest Oz started a really long time ago, more than a decade. So look, I actually started out in my final year at uni as an intern. And from there, I've pretty much done every single role that the festival has, from events, operations to production, to a little bit of marketing and also a lot of programming as well. So I used to watch all of the short films and program the short films. So it has been a really big journey for me over the years, working, with the festival in that capacity and in those different roles. And then I've also worked for a lot of different other festivals and funders. So yeah, it's kind of like coming home and starting a really amazing new journey with old friends and lots of new ones.
So the program will be out by the time that this episode is out. Is there anything you're super excited for? Any world premieres?
So I'm so excited about this year's program. Look, we have got some world premieres in store for our amazing Western Australian audience. One of the ones I'm so excited about is Bromley, Light After Dark. So that's one of our Film Prize finalists, and it will be a world premiere in Busselton as part of the Film Prize. So that follows David Bromley and his story as an artist and working through that whole journey of, are you commercial? Are you, you're battling with your own, demons of being an artist and trying to find his place in that world, in that ecosystem, and there is, a lot of artists who believe that, you should only have a couple of, paintings out there a year. And he goes through, well, actually, no, I need to make a living, I need to make this work and I want to share what I do with so many people. So that's one of our amazing world premieres. We also have Monolith, which is a Western Australian premiere. So that's another one of our Film Prize films. It showcases a journalist who's, she's kind of in the dumps. She's had a really tough career, and she explores this new kind of sci-fi, this phenomenon, and has her own podcast and explores it. And our other two Film Prize films are Rooster. So that's one of the Myth premiere films, which follows this amazing, police officer as he goes through the journey of his best friend's death and wants to find out what happened to him. And then Shader, which follows this incredible Iranian story. Really excited with those 4 films for our Film Prize finalists.
Speaking of audience engagement, so how do you feel with the emergence of AI and streaming and people just not generally going to festivals and going to see short films, as you said? How important do you think festivals are now?
festivals are so important because, for us, there's only so much that streamers or that, you can create online and you can access audiences online. At the end of the day, a festival experience is a curated experience, and it now allows you to engage with something that maybe you wouldn't have taken the chance to at home. It's also about coming together and connecting with people. So connecting with our filmmakers, understanding their journey, understanding the story, and just understanding each other. And it's experience to just come out, connect with your fellow neighbor, your fellow film lover, your fellow anybody really, and get back to that kind of cinema, joy that you'll have by communally watching something together and sharing laughs together, and which you don't get sitting at home on your couch in your slippers. It is still so important.
So I know that Cinefest does a lot of workshops and in-school programs as well. Do you want to elaborate on how people can get involved or how they can come into stuff like that?
So Cinefest Oz is an incredible festival experience because we cater for not only film buffs, but also for our school kids. And so it's so important to have them involved with what happens behind the movie kind of camera, as well as what's in front of it. So for us, 6,000 kids go through our Cine Snaps schools program a year. So that's all across our region in the Southwest, as well as in the Great Southern in Albany and Mount Barker, which is so important, particularly for kids in regional areas where they might not have as much access to arts and culture, as well as film and, our film industry in Western Australia. So the way that they can get involved is we have our Cine Snaps short film competition. So, they can join in that. So unfortunately, submissions have already closed this year, and we always present a new theme each year. So they can jump in from next year by going to our website, as well as, pushing their schools saying, hey, we would love to work with Cinefest Oz. And so we work really closely with a lot of the teachers, and we do briefings with them and make sure that they kind of know what films we're showcasing this year. And then we, facilitate those bookings there. But if ever they wanted to reach out, we'd be more than happy to talk and try and bring Cinefest Oz to pretty much. I want to try and bring it to every school in the state, but look, it might take me a couple of years, but that's the ambition there.
And what's your vision for the future of Cinefest, and what are the kind of initiatives that you do want to bring forward?
Look, I think it's really important for us as a festival to be sustainable and to make sure that we're putting Australian stories first and making sure that we create that platform where we can, engage between filmmakers and audience long term. So what I'd really love to do is to be able to grow the festival and to have a lot more happening within our regional centres. We've got our incredible First Nations Film Festival in Broome with Galari Media, and I really see that growing, particularly our First Nations stories. They're just incredible, and they really, there aren't a lot of places that showcase them. Like NITV and SBS does an incredible job, so does ABC. But for us, in terms of a festival circuit, there's so much more that we can do through there because it's just such a connector for the community. That's kind of for our community. In terms for our industry, I think it's so important to have that platform. And we have our industry program that runs over 2 days, and we have a variety of workshops that play into as part of that. So we're also doing our WIFT Women Writers Retreat again, which is an incredible experience, and I encourage everyone to apply for that. And so for us, it's about giving back to the community in which, we are showcasing. We want to inspire and create new opportunities within Western Australia for filmmakers. So in that, there is that part of R&D, it's about giving skills, having important discussions. What are the hot topics for Western Australian filmmakers? But how can we also be a conduit for more film work to happen here through bringing in new creatives to Western Australia? So, for us as part of the festival, we will have Stan here. Screen Australia will be over, bringing quite a big contingent. We have Screen Producers Australia coming over, hopefully having someone from ADG. We have a lot of different guests that then they're there and are able to engage with Western Australian creatives. So at the end of the day, I'd really like to see that program grow and really fill a void within the Australian landscape in terms of festivals and conferences for screen.
Are there any volunteering opportunities at Cinefest Oz, or, for either young filmmakers or anyone who just wants to kind of be part of that community?
Yeah, totally. So Cinefest Oz has lots of different volunteering experiences. So we have an intern program. So of course, I was the first year of our intern program more than a decade ago. But we also have a movie crew. So our movie crew help ushering, help us with processing tickets at the doors, go to lots of our different events, and they're their friendly faces. And so that's something that we're known for, being as one of the friendliest festivals, in Australia. So yeah, our movie crew are completely a part of that. And we've had some of our volunteers with us for over the whole 16 years of our journey. So really incredible. So if you see them in their beret, say hello, and you can definitely be a part of that. So just hit us up via our website. We have a form to fill out, and and in return, you get to go to a big kind of thank you luncheon, and then we have some screenings for all of our movie crew. So yeah, I encourage anyone to get and be a part of it, because it's a really beautiful community.
Thank you so much, Cassandra, for coming in and telling us all about Cinefest Oz. It's really exciting to see more stuff happening in WA, and it's such a staple as well of the film festival scene. So we're really looking forward to it.
And if you want to head down there, it's on August 29th till the 3rd of September.
And thank you so much for having me on.
Thank you so much to The Backlot and Limitless Studios who let us film this podcast here every month. And we'll have the rest of our supporters in the slides at the end of the show.
If you're interested in volunteering for Cinefest Oz, you can head to their website. They have a form for volunteers, or hit them up on socials. We hope to see a lot of people getting involved because it's like what keeps the industry and the film festival circuit alive. But yeah, thank you guys, and we'll be back next time.
See ya.